Hey there, campers. While we're gathering around the campfire, we just want to let you know we are not what you would call experts. What we do have is a love for researching and discussing the lore of cryptids, creatures,
and an occasional spooky woman that can eat our soul.
So if you are in need of immediate help with the chupacabra in your yard, please consult someone else.
Also, this podcast isn't for kids. These campfire stories can contain graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young campers, so listener discretion is advised. Hey campers, my name is Kimmy, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan.
Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast where we tell you not only the history, but also the stories of different legends and lore from all around the world.
And today, even though Ryan didn't say it exactly to script, he's got the spirit. Yes, he does. It just it throws me off for some reason because I'll be reading along. And then you just do it. I know you do it just to keep me on my toes.
Yeah, I watch you wording it with your mouth, and I'm like, I can't let this stand.
You're like, I will never let her be prepared for an episode a day in her life.
For bullying me in Uno.
Oh, I know what my Aloreing thing is. Do you want to start with yours?
Yeah. Well, as you may see if you're looking at our podcast, oh wait, I'm on the wrong. There we go. We took a bunch of photos, and now we have all new stuff for not only social media, but we're gonna have a different cover for a couple episodes, right?
Yeah.
Wow, look how stoic we look in that cover.
Look at that. The magic of editing.
Boop-a-boop.
If I point the right way. There
yeah, me and Kimmy met up and brought some friends with us, and we did a whole day of photo shoots, and it was very fun. We dressed up as little campers.
Yep.
And we've just been having a good time with it.
It was glorious where we were taking photos because everyone around us was dressed in their graduation outfits or doing engagement photos. And we're here dressed as park rangers carrying sexy Mothman around.
Yeah. So. nice Mormon family photos were happening right next to Mothman in fishnets. And
People
I'd like to apologize
us,
to the state of Utah.
People stayed their distance from us, though, which was wonderful for the photos.
That is true. Yeah, no one wanted to be anywhere near us or in the background of our stuff. So, but yeah. So if you want to see a hot ghost or a hot Mothman or a hot one of us, I guess, check out our photos.
We got some dating pics for Ryan from that photo shoot,
yeah. So. Oh, Hinge was unhinged,
Beautifully unhinged.
Not really, because I actually haven't posted any of the photos on Hinge because I kind of look like a cop and I don't want to give the wrong impression.
Well, we'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. We'll figure it out.
We'll do what we can.
Yeah, and the ones I don't look like a cop, I'm carrying a woman dressed as sexy Mothman. And I don't know. It might translate. It's either going to go really well or really poorly. We'll see.
Well, the question is, when you match with someone, what would you want their reaction to be with? Because
it's true.
If you post it and you want their reaction to be like, "Oh my God, is that Mothman?"
Valid.
And then that's the person you want to talk versus you're carrying someone that looks like Mothman. It's the energy,
Right.
So it's a great way to kind of filter it.
Valid point. Yeah, it is a good filter. But yeah, what about you? You've been busy as hell these last 2 months.
Jesus Christ, my Saturn return said, "Hey girl, hey, I know everything in your life is stable, but that career thing, yeah, let's figure that out for you real quick." So
yeah, Kimmy went through 2 jobs in the month break we had. It was pretty wild.
Let's just say
Almost
I
3.
almost 3. I'm very happy where I am now. I am very blessed for it.
Good.
Um and that is all I will say. Because those other ones, promises were made that weren't fulfilled
Mhm.
on the other end, and I feel like companies aren't used to like, and I'm so glad like the generations like this now where people are like, hey, if you're not valuing and keeping your end of like promises made, like I'm a head out, and they're like, no
Yeah.
you won't, and I
And
I
we're
was
like,
like
yeah, we will."
I was like, I'm heading out, you know. So
What?
yeah, but like still like great people. Like I'm always happy for all my experiences that I get kind
Yeah.
of person. But very great job now. It has been fun trying to go from 3 completely different schedules. So that has been why we've been edging you guys a little with episodes. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Mostly me.
Some people like it.
Some people are into it. Like it's like, oh, is
They're
this
like,
the week?
"Finally, those guys stopped recording. Thank God."
The hate mail in our inbox just went down a significant amount. Um, but yeah, it's been a crazy week. Thank you guys all for your patience. We've been doing a lot of back end stuff, and art show season has fucking started. So I've been doing a lot of art shows with like Earth Metal Alchemy, and oh my god, I'm so tired, you guys. I'm just so tired.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel like every time I text you, you're like, "Yeah, I got another art show today." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
it's a Tuesday.
it's a
Like,
Tuesday.
didn't you work today?"
I know, but like it's great because like I'm enjoying it and it's been so
Yeah.
fun. I've been meeting a lot of our listeners at these, which has
Oh,
been
that's cool.
absolutely delightful. I had 2 of them that were like, "Why isn't Ryan here with you?" I'm like, "You don't live where I live."
I'll come
So
up to an art show sometime. That'd be fun.
just appear. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
people are like super great. I've met a lot of wonderful people. If you have told me you will email me about a story, please follow up on me. Please do that
Yeah.
because I'm waiting for all of your guys' stories. So,
And we get a
um,
lot of emails from like the 400 like softwares that we're signed up for everything. So sometimes like real emails get a little buried, so we'd like to apologize for that.
yeah. So please send in your emails. We do read them. Now that I'm back on a schedule, I've got it figured out. But I do want to do is my true alluring thing. I know it's long, but it's been a minute. Um,
Mhm.
I found out how to make Ryan rage during Uno the other night, and that was the most
Cheating.
glorious feeling I've ever experienced. It I Ryan's really bad at saying Uno before placing down a card. And the amount of times I had him draw 4 made him kick me out of our server like 3 times, was it?
And I stand by it. And I do it again. God damn it. You also were telling me like your family plays some weird ass rules in
You
Uno.
know, I'm so tired of them because like every time I think I know the rules, I'll go play with them and they're like, "Oh, we don't do that rule anymore." I'm like, "We did it last round. What do you fucking mean we don't do it anymore?" So, I like the one we played. It
Yeah,
was
just
simple.
base game. Simple game.
One card
Yeah.
at a time, no stacking, just
How
the way
the
God
smart
intended.
people over at Hasbro made rules for Uno. No one follows them, but they
No,
exist.
no.
Um, yeah,
If we could find a way to stack the draw twos, though, I wouldn't be mad. But
I don't think I'm gonna be playing Uno for a long time.
but it was great. I had the most wonderful time of my life playing that game.
It was something like that.
I don't gotta transition because Uno that was just like such a peak moment.
Speaking of things that piss you off, how about we get to this week's episode?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna play a different sound this week because we have a special episode. It's shaped like a sausage, about 2 feet long, has no head nor leg, and it is so poisonous that merely to touch it means instant death. What are we talking about?
I did everything in my power to not have that song on this episode, and there goes Ryan. All right.
Nisan al Gaib.
Oh my god, the Dune references have begun. So it was big, it was all wiggly, and it ate everything. And no, it was not the Alaskan bullworm, but it was a much more deadly creature that is known to found its home deep under the sands of the Gobi Desert. So here is this week's lovely illustration for all of our video watchers. I may have had to rush it because I may have forgot about it till 30 minutes before the
I
episode.
love him though. He's such a cute little guy.
I did not want to draw this worm, so I did everything in my power to not draw him, but make him as cute as
Coward.
possible. I know. I'm such a coward. The amount of worm pictures I looked at for this episode is vile, and I'm over it. So, got a cute little tequila death worm oil bottle for all of our snakes salesmen looking for an upgrade.
I forgot about my real Aloreing fact. I'll do it next episode.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
And for all of our amazing audio listeners, if you want to see this week's illustration, you can go to aloreing.com, check out our blog, check out our Instagram, Aloreing Podcast, or come watch the video. But it is out there in the internet, and you shall find it. So, this week, we will be talking about the Mongolian Death Worm. This deadly worm is a major part of Mongolian folklore and has been around for centuries. During the early 1950s, it found its way into the West and is still known to be a deadly mystery that lurks under the sands of the vast deserts of Mongolia. So, what are the origins of the slithering death worm? Okay. I see how this episode's gonna go. I'm just gonna let you get it all out of your system. Just let it all happen right in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Okay. So, legends of the Mongolian Death Worm.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
I need a second. Okay. So, known by locals as Oligoi korhoi, which is large intestine worm, has been a major part. I haven't even finished the first sentence, Ryan. I'm not even done with the first sentence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If I start laughing, I can't stop, and you know this about me.
It's gonna be a long
It's gonna
episode.
be a long episode. We're sorry, y'all. It's been a minute. This is great. I may have a little bit of liquid courage in me too, so may have been a bad decision for this episode. So this creature has been a part of Mongolian folklore for centuries, and with no written accounts of its origins, all we know is that this deadly worm is from oral tales passed down from generation to generation. The tales were commonly told to traders and travelers, and it wasn't long until the death worm legend spread throughout the region. Right? As kids, I can't do this today. As tales became more popular, locals and tourists around the Gobi Desert even started describing encounters with the death worm. However, many of these encounters were nothing more than second and third hand stories told in passing. Plus, with the reports being scattered throughout the entire Gobi Desert, which is the largest desert in the world at about 1.3 million square kilometers or 500 square miles. Is that right?
It's a
Kilometers?
big worm. Yeah.
The lack of physical evidence was hard for experts to believe that this creature actually exists. But one thing that did make this legend believable was how, no matter how far apart the sightings were, they were all too similar and too specific to be dismissed as false legend.
So those are always my favorite types of folklore.
Oh yeah, I was surprised with how much I actually enjoyed researching it.
Mm-hmm.
Minus looking up images. That was the worst part of my day. Now, buzz of this death worm is making its rounds, and it found its way into the West through one man's eat, pray, love inspired journey.
This is
So
my favorite picture we've had. The entire-
I was so tired of looking at these worms at this point. So here's one with a cowboy hat
This actually
because
changed my alignment chart. I want you to know.
so because it okay, the reason I did this is because the worm's coming to the west. So
Hmm.
cowboy energy, you know?
For our audio listeners, it's a worm with a cowboy hat, which is my favorite type of photo. Anything with a cowboy hat, especially when it's just a PNG of a cowboy hat, just kind of placed on stuff. Anywho,
Send us your cowboy hat photos,
yeah,
is what Ryan's saying.
please, God.
So, an American paleontologist and explorer by the name of Roy Chapman Andrews would be the first to introduce
Oh,
Wow, I just took a sip of that liqueur and it is hitting. I can't today. This is a bad day to have a drink. It's been so long, too. So, okay. An American paleontologist and explorer by the name Roy Chapman Andrews would be the first to introduce Westerners to this deadly creature. In his book On the Trail of Ancient Man from 1926, Andrew tells about his adventures as he explores Asia in search of the origins of the ancient man and goes into some detail about the Mongolian Death Worm. Though all his writings are about local secondhand accounts of this creature, they go into great detail on how this violent creature killed many and why so many feared it. So, with this worm legend wriggling around and finding its way into the West, Westerners became more curious, and it wasn't long until some cryptozoologists would try and hunt it down.
yes,
Naturally,
people are on the case.
so it may not get solved, but
They're on it.
they're on it. In 2005, a cryptozoologist team led by British cryptozoologist and author Richard Freeman took to the Gobi Desert in search of the famous Mongolian death worm. Now, Ryan,
Hmm.
what do you think happened when they went to go hunt down this death worm?
So my guess is someone by the name of Lisan Al Gaib um, went up on top of a hill with a dirt pounder and put it in the dirt and turned it on to attract the worm. And then when the worm came, he jumped off the dune and rode it.
Okay. Um, there's something I did not put in these show notes because of time.
Did I nail it?
And I need you to know
Mm-hmm.
that not this I think it was actually this research team was inspired by that
Well,
Hollywood instance
I for one am shocked.
and actually used it to try to get out the worm. So I didn't include it because it was a full
Hmm.
thing. But so you are right. I expected that to go a completely different way. But you were right, minus the worm actually appearing. So
What?
they did the
Kimmy,
vibration.
you're gonna
They
tell
did
me
the
a
test.
cryptozoologist couldn't find the beast they were looking for? Man, it's a dark day for the field of cryptozoology. Man,
I'm
that's crazy.
Ryan, I'm going to do everything in my power to sign you up and get you a cryptozoologist certificate, just for the pure
And
irony of it.
I feel like just saying you have one is enough.
I will make you a mock certificate of a cryptozoologist.
See, I sit here shitting on cryptozoologists, and then I sit back and wonder, man, why does the crypto community hate me? And then I'm like, oh wait, it's all love, fam.
It's all
It's
wh-
all
we're not doing this, so it's
look,
so easy for
look,
us to hate.
yeah, yeah. We're just here playing some Dune sounds. We're not out there in the field doing the hard work like you guys.
The thing is, you guys are doing God's work. It's just when
Mm-hmm.
there's not results, it's way easier to attack it.
Yeah, we're
It's
just
just what happens.
podcasters. We're a
Yeah.
dime a dozen. Like,
Yeah. We don't know what we're doing at
yeah.
all. So
Anyway, what
that just
happened
put
after
them
they
on the
couldn't find
fence of our
anything? Yeah.
show.
Did
They're
they at
like,
least maybe find some like samples?
so, though the team wasn't able to encounter the legendary beast, they did gather a collection of testimonials from
Oh,
locals,
okay. Well, that's
and
something.
they did collect samples of the desert soil. Now,
Like specific samples, or just they just went out in the dirt and they're like, "Yep,
jarred up,
yeah."
jarred up.
A lot of spice in here.
They're like jarred up. It's like
Their
I
eyes all
spilled some
turned blue.
paprika. Jarred up.
Jarred up. That's not paprika. That's spice.
What? What are you talking about?
Have you not seen Dune?
No, I have not. Ryan, that's the. I've seen one.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Aloreing. You have an Aloreing day, and we'll catch you in the next episode. We have to go watch Dune. How have you not seen? How are we doing a Mongolian Death Worm episode and you haven't seen Dune? That's
Ryan,
crazy.
I have been to the movie theater once this year, and it was to watch Tarot.
Kimmy, Dune came out like 6 years ago.
Okay, all right. I saw 40 minutes of Dune.
Oh my god.
Of the old Dune, because Edgar kept
like
trying
the
to
old,
watch it.
like the 90s
the
Dune, or
old,
like
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's that. Yeah.
And it was the most awful experience of my life.
No. You need to watch the new ones.
Okay.
You need to see Willy Wonka as Dune.
I'll try the new one. I just did it because I watched the old one. Edgar was trying to watch it because he wanted to go see the movie.
Don't watch the old one unless you're like are really into shitty sci-fi movies.
No.
Don't watch the old one. Watch the 2000s, 20s ones.
Okay. Well, once I watch it, I'll post about it on Discord. Maybe I'll like live tweet.
We could watch it. We could have a movie night.
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah. We'll do that.
And then I'll just play this every time. Well, actually, I won't have to because they play it every 5 seconds.
They play it every 5 seconds. Okay.
Anyway, we're way off track. We're not talking about Dune. We're talking about the Mongolian Death Worm.
So, we were on samples, the dirt samples.
Yeah,
and the samples turned up sadly with nothing.
Oh man, God. Dark day.
It was a dark day in that bright desert, and
I'll tell you what.
Many experts say that this was the end of the Mongolian Death Worm legend. It's believed that it has just inspired modern-day monster hunters to go see if they can be the ones that find it. So, now, if you're experiencing the same cost of living we are and can't just casually make a trip to the go-by desert, nor do you wish to or want to, there is other ways you can see this killer worm firsthand. Hollywood. This is when Hollywood comes in handy, people. There's the 1984 and what was it, 2024 Dune? Is that when it came out, or 2023?
There was one between that too. The 2024 was Dune 2.
Oh, okay.
The first Timothy Chalamet Dune, I believe it came out in 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, see,
that's the one you gotta watch.
This is why
Ryan's
Ryan's
the 2024 one, yeah.
It's a trilogy. Mm-hmm. Just the first one's awful. Apparently.
No, the first one, you don't need to watch the first one at all. It's not a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
It's based off the books, which you can't see them; they're just out of frame.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
The 1980s movie was like they like squished like all the books, not all, but like the original books into one, and then these have been like a little more in depth. They didn't do one movie for every book because there's like I don't know what 10 Dune books at this point.
Yeah, they actually got it cooking. All right, sorry. Again, this may be what we go on.
It's not a Dune episode. We're talking about the goddamn Mongolian Death Worm.
Another Hollywood movie that a lot of people know is like Tremors.
That's the Ass Blasters. That's such a good movie.
Yeah, so
I love worm-based movies. I think that's what I'm learning about myself this episode.
You're a wormy man.
I'm just a worm guy.
Just a worm man.
Just a man who likes his worms, you know.
Well, good thing, Ryan, because it's your turn now to tell us some hunting trips about the Mongolian Death Worm.
All right, so we're gonna go back in time to talk about the person Kimmy kind of already briefly mentioned, Roy Chapman Andrews. A paleontologist, not a cryptozoologist. I don't know if there were cryptozoologists in 1920. Probably not. Anyway, um, so he went to hunt the Mongolian death worm in 1920, which was apparently causing chaos through the Gobi Desert, and all the locals would talk about. So, fearful and wanting to know what was really happening in Mongolia, officials had requested that Roy try to capture the elusive death worm for the government. At the time, Andrew was originally going on a fossil expedition and didn't know anything about the death worm, but he did promise that if he encountered it, he would capture it. I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I just assume this thing is massive. I don't know how you're going to capture it, but I
Oh,
guess
oh,
I
we
guess you
get
can
into
ride it.
that.
Yeah, we already talked about how you capture it. You go on stand, ride it till it's tired. Um,
Don't we all?
yeah.
Um,
Amen, sister.
that's how I got my man. No.
Hey, yo.
Hey.
Uh, while on his trip, he asked many locals about the Mongolian death worm and quickly learned that this sausage shaped creature was a major threat. The Mongolian prime minister at the time, who in 1922 described the worm as the following: it is shaped like a sausage, about 2 feet long. What? What? This is the beast of Bosco all over again. Can't call it. It's just a centipede. It's not even.
It's not even a yard
It's
of
a
fabric.
centipede with no legs. Yeah, I mean 2 feet. That's what. Like,
That's 2/3 a
that's
yard of
my
fabric.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Two
No
pieces
head
of
or
bacon,
leg,
piece of
and is
chicken.
so poisonous that merely to touch it means instant death. Okay, at least it's got that going for it, and lives in the desolate parts of the Gobi Desert. I'm so disappointed. I'm not going to play the Dune sound anymore.
This was just what was it? The prime minister at the time was saying. Okay.
Okay. So, hearing all these encounters from the locals, Andrew did not believe this creature was real and seemed too far fetched. Yeah, a 2 foot worm, very far fetched, and with it harassing people for so long, but there was no proof of anything, so he was doubtful. Nevertheless, Andrew was prepared and kept some handy dandy long steel forceps, protective glasses, and gloves in hope that if he did see the creature, he would be safe. Now, if you haven't heard about the capture of the giant death worm, you're never going to believe this. That's because he never captured it during his adventures through the Gobi Desert. But apparently, he did find some dino eggs and fossils, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. And after his travels, he still doubted the death worm being nothing more than a misidentified reptile, which seems valid. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I'd have to look at a map of like where centipedes exist, but like it makes sense. Um,
Like the reason I kind of like this is the first time I feel we have a story where it's someone that doesn't believe in it but that's willing
yeah,
to see what's going on, you
that's
know.
our whole show, baby.
Yeah.
Um, but if you want to learn more about his adventures, you can read On the Trail of the Ancient Man. All right. Now, we're going to talk about the Gobi Desert and Ivan and the worm. So, the next tale is about Ivan Merkel, a cryptozoologist who also went on multiple expeditions to hunt down this creature. While in college, Ivan met a Mongolian student who told him all about the death worm. Ivan became obsessed with this 2 foot worm because man,
Don't we all?
he's like, I feel you, brother. Um, and even soon was granted permission by the Mongolian government to go hunt down this monster. So, in 1990, Ivan and his team began an 8-week search for the killer worm. Though they never found the worm, as Kimmy previously mentioned, it was not the end of his worm hunt, and he went back in 1992. It's college all over again. During 1992, Ivan and his team made another 8-week trip to Mongolia. When he first arrived, a Buddhist monastery warned Ivan that the worm was a creature of supernatural evil and that he was endangering his life searching for the creature. But he brushed it off as locals just trying to scare him, and this wouldn't be the end of the deadly worm warning. That's a tongue twister. Deadly worm warning.
Yeah, I got a little fun. I had fun with alliterations this episode.
Later that night, Ivan recalled having a vivid dream about the worm. Oh, it's just like Dune. And waking up in a sweat with blood-filled boils in his back. Ooh. Though this was strange and most people would take it as a sign to go back home, Ivan didn't and continued his hunt. So, feeling inspired by Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi novel Dune, him and his team used rhythmic vibrations to get the giant sandworm's attention. Again, giant stretch. They tried collecting vibrations using small explosives above the ground and underground while hunting this creature. It's Lisan Al Gaib. It's real. They even created a motor generated thumping machine just like Dune, but it didn't do anything. And though he didn't get any proof of the creature, he did get a collection of photographs, and they used these photographs to make a documentary called The Sand Monster Mystery in 1993. But
I honestly, I loved everything that just happened. I feel me not watching this film made me just be really truthful with the notes, and it gave you the time to have moments with it.
I love it. But Ivan, being the Dune lover he was, would not call it quits, damn it, and decided to go on one last expedition. Fast forward 2004. He once again scoured the desert with an ultralight pilot in a small aircraft with a camera to try and capture a video of the creature. After coming up with nothing, he concluded that this mythical creature may just be the result of a psychological problem, his words, brought on by the extreme heat of the desert. That's valid. I mean, if you're out in the desert and you're dehydrated and it's 108,000 degrees and you see like the sand moving a little bit, you might be like, this is it.
Listen, I went to elementary school in Arizona, and I swear I would have said I saw the sandworm many times in the playground.
I did. It was in my shoe.
It was miserable.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're gonna go on a quick commercial break. In the meantime,
go watch Dune.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Dune on like about 4 hours a movie, 30-second break. Okay, we're gonna have to watch it really fast, but we're gonna go watch it real quick. All right. And we'll be right back.
Bye.
Which one do you think they're gonna hear?
I know. I that's what I'm wondering too.
All right. And today we're just, talking about good old-fashioned aloreingshop.com, everyone's go-to destination for cryptid stickers and shirts and all sorts of stuff. And, you've been selling these like freaking hotcakes in real life to people. So if you can't make it to an art show, great news. We have them online at aloreingshop.com.
I don't got anything to say. I sell these every weekend. That's when I do my big spiel. They stick to stuff, and that's pretty cool.
They are in fact stickers.
Oh,
put them on your car. Put them on your freaking. We know you got a hydro flask or a Yeti. Come on,
laptop.
Come on, slap that bad boy on there. That's where all mine are.
Yeah, stick it
wherever. Stick it anywhere.
You want? Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
stick it.
I don't care. Yeah.
Okay. That's all we got. Check out shop.
Right.
Yeah, let's go back. Okay. I'm gonna play radio.
Okay. All right, Kimmy. Quick review. How much did you enjoy Dune during that break? 1 out of 5,000.
Ooh. I give it a good 4,069.
Nice.
Good number.
Solid score. Yeah.
Solid score. But other than that, it was pretty good. And welcome back, campers. We hope you enjoyed that little break.
I did.
Yeah. Ryan had the time of his life. We are now going to talk about the appearance and a little fun facts about this desert worm. So, I hated
It's actually
every
the death
image.
worm.
Oh, death worm. My bad. I hated every picture I found of this creature with every
Yeah, but
fiber of
when
my
you
being.
remember it's only 2 feet, like that picture suddenly is a lot less like that's a microscope is what they use to take to like if this was a photo, not a painting.
That is a fair point. All right, so well, let's get into how big this bad boy really is. So, this death worm looks like, you guys may have guessed it at home, a worm. Its skin processes bright red and yellowish colors. Its skin appears to adapt to the environment it's born in. So, if one hatches in the desert sands, it's more of like a dusty maggot color versus if one hatches inside the colon of a camel, it will be red and yellow colors. Because apparently that's where these creatures are born, is
Hmm.
in the colon of a
Of
camel.
camel. Okay.
So you're welcome for that
Hmm.
fact. It has a circular mouth filled with jagged, sharp teeth that quickly shred its food. So it's like a forbidden fleshlight. And
Nice.
now, Ryan, I did leave this out. How big do you think the Mongolian death worm is? Like,
Well,
how big do you think it should be, and how big do you think it
yeah.
actually is?
Well, in my stories it said 2 feet, which is disappointing. When I think of a death worm, I'm thinking at least like 100 yards,
Right.
which again we're having a beast of Bosco situation here.
All right. Well, you're on. You got it, Ryan, because this mythical creature measures anywhere from 2 to 5 feet long.
Honestly, 5 feet, that might be enough to call it a death worm if it's as poisonous as they say.
Right.
But
That-
2 feet, that's just embarrassing. Like,
it's like the whole Chucky situation. Like, you could just kick him. You
yeah,
know?
that's what I'm saying. Put on a nice pair of steel toe boots. Like, you're fine. I promise. The death worm not gonna. Now 5 feet. Then you start. That's like a big dog.
Yeah. That's
And if,
that one. You could get a little bit more messed up
but like,
with.
how like agile can a worm be? You know, like I don't think it's jumping up on you.
Well, it's also been described to be like as thick as a human arm. Is like another thing to kind of keep in mind.
I think I'll
But
be
but it's
okay.
like, what human arm, you know? Because it's like,
Now, are we talking my arm or are we talking your arm? Because those are
yeah,
two very different worms.
yeah. And then are we talking about like John Cena's arm? You know, like
Exactly.
those
Yeah.
are, that could be anything.
Yeah.
Um, so that's all we know appearance wise, and I hate everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Personality wise, we know that it is a very aggressive worm. Doesn't like the heat. Doesn't like to be disturbed, and it is a killer.
Nice.
So legend says that this creature spends time hiding deep underneath the cool sand dunes of the Gobi Desert.
Of Arrakis.
It will only pop up during the wetter months of June and July to cool down, and is believed to be hostile just because it's too damn hot.
Valid.
Which, yeah,
Valid.
very valid. Heat
If
cranky
I
is a
yeah,
different cranky.
if I'm taking a walk in the 110-degree weather outside and someone comes up and bothers me,
No.
I'll be a death worm.
Well, see if you'll still say that after this little paragraph.
Okay.
Because so this worm also has the skin of a killer bella. It
I
has
don't
the
know what that is.
You don't get the Twilight reference?
Oh, like literally. Oh, like Bella, like
Yeah.
shiny
The skin
vampire.
of a killer bella.
Oh,
That was for the Twilight, the Twilight
no, this
girlies.
Kimmy, this is a Dune episode.
Oh my god.
We're supposed to be talking about Dune. It's
know.
the skin color of fuck. There's not really any shiny people in Dune.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're going to stick with my Twilight.
it's disappointing.
I know. I had to sneak it in at some point. It's been a month, so. It has the ability to electric shock its victims,
Nice.
instantly turning them to ash. And having the skin of a killer, it is coated in a corrosive venom known to rapidly dissolve any organic material that it touches.
So steel toe boot might not work.
It may not work. And the worst part, when it attacks someone with poison, it doesn't spray from its mouth, as you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
It will lift up half of its body, and a bulb will form, and it will get so full it bursts onto their victim. So
It's a lot of you know what? Never mind.
yeah, I was like, do you wanna
No,
say
I
that?
don't. I
No?
don't think I want to.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna let the worm speak for itself this
Okay.
episode.
So the worm nuts. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
Bust a
And
nut.
2 feet of it. A lot
There's
of
a
poison.
there's an
Am I
innuendo here
right,
somewhere.
ladies? All right.
God damn.
I got it out. I'm done.
You
I'm gonna
good?
go back to my. Okay.
Back on the worm. Back on the
Yep.
worm sounds. Okay. All right. So that's all for its personality. And I have like 3 kind of fun facts for this one. So, did you know that this death worm may be related to an ancient deadly water worm?
Ooh.
Now, the picture posted on YouTube right now, it looks like a giant worm with buck teeth,
See,
and
now that's a death worm.
and
That's
it
big.
it makes me cackle. There's a little human
Mm-hmm.
reference to size, location map. Like, this is death worm. So, the Indus worm, aka the horrible Indian worm, is believed to be the death worm's ancient cousin. So,
Ooh.
around 5th century BCE, many told legends of a giant white like maggot that lived in the insidious river that flowed through the Himalayas. The creature was said to be about the size of a child and was about 10 feet wide. So, I imagine when it
That's
says like size of a child, it's like,
like width of a child.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then
And
10
then
feet
wide is
long.
actually how long it is.
Yeah.
It
See,
would have,
that's a death worm. That's a
yeah,
baby death worm.
yeah, this is an actual death worm. So it would hide in the river under the sand during the day and spend its night hunting camels, oxen, and horses,
Oh.
eating everything about the creature except for its intestines. It only had 2 teeth, one on the top and one at the bottom. To make it cuter, I like to imagine the teeth were pointed instead of bucktooth style, because I just think that makes the worm look a little bit more pleasant. Though deadly, many would try and hunt this creature down due to its rare body oil. So,
Just like Dune.
once
Not
captured,
really.
I was like, how much of this is this just Dune? Did I just rewrite Dune and just not realize it? Once captured, they would leave the creature out to dry for about a month and place a bowl under it to capture all the oils that leaked out. What do you think they used that oil for?
I think the space witches use it as a ritual, and they drink it, and it kills them, but they have to like fight the death, and then after that, they become even more powerful.
Okay. This makes me more concerned about the Dune that I totally watched during our break.
Well, we watched it in like times 100 speed, so you
Okay.
may have missed the space witches.
I may have
They're a
missed
pretty
that scene.
pivotal part of the movie, but
So, what they would do? Good guess. I'll give you.
was I wrong?
Well, you weren't right at
Damn
all,
it. Oh
ever.
shit!
So, it is for something unhinged. The oil, what they would do is they would spray it over fires to make flamethrowers,
Oh shit! That's way cooler.
and they were able to do this because of how toxic the oil was.
Mm.
I couldn't find anything else about this creature except flamethrower facts. It was hung up to dry, and it was like an actual death worm. So
So now these are like actually real. These aren't like another cryptid, or is that also up in the air?
so this is more of an ancient being. Some like folklore researchers
Okay.
people believe that this creature can now be seen as like religious symbols because
Okay.
of its connection to snakes in Greek mythology.
So there's not like actual like Indus worm like
Yeah.
okay.
So there's no actual proof of it except
Yeah.
for writings we have from ancient historians
Gotcha.
about it. So we don't got any photos.
Okay.
Is the
Tragic.
situation. Okay. So completely shifting gears.
Mm.
this slippery sausage is believed to roam the Gobi Desert, eluding other beast hunter groups that try to track it down. So you may be asking, can you even hunt down this creature?
I was.
Well, the truth is, no one really knows how to do it or even how to capture it. So, if any
Clearly.
luck, one may be able to have a guide service help. But since the cost of guide services have skyrocketed since the worm became popular in the West, we have put together a little handy dandy list of some ways you could probably get a hold of that killer worm. Do you want to start the popcorn for
No,
us?
I'd like to do the second one.
Oh, okay. So, the first is get some snacks. It's known to love bat. I want to say this weird. Black saxol and goyo plants. So these rare plants are believed to be the death worm's favorite treats, and find a location of them could help you hunt one down because they like to hang out next to these little snacky snacks.
Oh, okay. Number 2, as previously mentioned, you're going to get your sand pounder. You're going to stick it in the earth. You're going to pound the sand and try different frequencies. And then that's going to get the worm's attention, which is why when you walk through the desert, you have to do the sand walk so that you don't attract the worm to you.
I I'm gonna draw a picture of you riding a sandworm
I'd love that.
for this episode, okay?
That sounds so good.
With a little cowboy hat, you know.
Oh my God. On the worm, of course.
I got Ryan's Christmas gift ready
Yeah.
to
The
go.
2-foot worm, though, instead of a giant, like.
It's a little 2-foot worm. It's like the adults on like the little kid tricycles energy. And then the next is a good old sacrifice. This death worm is known to love feasting on camels and humans, so maybe go Daphne mode, set up a little trap, and be a damsel in distress, you know?
If you don't want to go to jail, maybe stick with the camels and maybe not the people. But, hey, that's up to you.
Well, on that note, there's no way for sure knowing if any of these methods work, but if you're brave, you can try whatever. Also, Ryan and I have no idea what we're doing and no idea what we're talking about. So if you go hunt down this killer sausage and try any of these things, we aren't responsible for you.
Now, if you were trying to hunt down like a maybe, let's just throw it out there, 450-meter worm in the deserts of Arrakis, then I could probably help you out a little more, but I don't know what to do with a 2-foot worm.
Yeah, just email us about that. He'll get back to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So now, if you are someone who thinks that this death worm is nothing more than a mislabeled creature, you may be onto something. So, with the harsh climate that makes it impossible to survive, many zoologists and skeptics believe that this killer worm is nothing more than a misidentified reptile.
Mm.
So, I got another little handy dandy list of what the creatures could be. And I hated Googling every single one of these images. So, I have learned I am not a reptile girly. I was fine with snakes until I did all of this research.
So, not to call you out, what is the difference between, let's say, I don't know, tentacles and a worm?
The ocean is the difference. It's like the same idea of why I like crabs, but I absolutely hate spiders.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. You heard it here, folks. A worm is just a desert
I
tentacle. Different, though.
the tentacle appeal
It's
is
the dryness.
It's the wet, yeah, and
Yeah.
these desert creatures
They're
are
just too dry.
It's too dry.
What if you
Lube
put
it up,
one? What if
people.
you put one in the water
Well, then it's a tentacle.
and then you're back in?
Then I'm back in.
All
That's
right,
all it takes.
got it.
Moisture up, folks. So this first awful image, for all our audio listeners, it is a worm lizard, and it is a limbless reptile commonly mistaken for a snake due to their long bodies and the worm-like appearance of their skin. They aren't venomous, and they're about 7 to 15 inches long. It pretty much just looks like a worm with a snake head and like little tiny arms, and
It's got a little
awful.
axolotl face though.
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind of cute.
the face is fine, and
Yeah.
then there's the rest of it that I'm
Yeah.
just really not here for.
Okay.
And then the next one is the legless lizard, which is better. I'm okay with this one.
I think that
These
I think these are the color. That one questionable. This one clearly a reptile. This one,
Yeah, the worm lizard looks like dead white man's penis, if we're gonna
yeah,
be
yeah,
completely
it
honest.
does. Yeah, it's even kind of got a head.
Yeah, and then
Questionable.
the legless lizard is like kind of like a cute like little
Yeah, he's just a
sun
little
kissed
guy.
color.
Yeah, and he doesn't have two tiny little arms right next to
Yeah,
his
those
head.
arms look so weird.
His arms
It's
really throw me off.
no, I don't like it.
I don't like that either. The more I look at it,
It's weird, isn't it?
yeah,
Um, maybe that'll be our Spotify poll is tell us which one you find is the most disturbing out of
yeah.
all of these. um, so legless lizards, these reptiles have no limbs and resemble a snake, but unlike snakes and worms, they have movable eyelids and cylindrical bodies.
Hmm.
Um, they also have a visible external ear opening and have forked tongues and belly scales. So I just think they're kind of like snakes.
Yeah.
The next is just a snake. Could just be a venomous snake. Of course, that doesn't make sense appearance wise, but it could be. And then the last one is a sand boa, which I don't like.
I think this one's cute. Look at those eyes.
He's got
He's actually just a little guy.
he is a sweet little guy. He looks like one eye knows how I die and the other eye
Yeah.
knows when I'll die.
Yeah,
Kind of energy.
he has secrets.
Yeah, and he'll give you your next quest.
Yeah.
It's like if Baba Yaga was a snake, is
Yeah.
the best way to explain the sand boa. So this is the most plausible explanation for what the Mongolian death worm could actually be. And many people will confuse it for it. So in 1983, locals were shown a specimen of Tartar sand boa to the people who claimed to have seen this creature, and they confirmed that it was the same animal, the dwarf sand boa, also known as the desert sand boa, and is native to Asia and has been proposed as the legendary Mongolian death worm. So this is the one that's most commonly confused
Are
with.
sand boas poisonous?
Ooh, I didn't Google that. Why didn't I do that? I am a fool. Well, this is what you
Nope,
guys get.
non-venomous snake.
Okay, so that doesn't explain that part though.
Nope.
And
Maybe
then
they're just so scared of it they just.
yeah, that's fair. The desert's hot, y'all.
hot.
Like the heat makes you stupid.
Yeah,
and
people
you
are
can't
dying
tell
of
me
heat, and they're
otherwise.
like, "It was the snake."
Yeah, yeah. No, like you can't convince me otherwise.
Mhm.
That's why Arizona's election years every year are wild because you just never know what that heat's going to do to someone.
Yeah, man.
And finally, some believe it's just a species of a type of worm lizard. Regardless of what it actually could be, it's going to take way more research from the scientific community to decide what this killer worm actually is. And now, speaking of science, do you know what time it is, Ryan?
This is a hard one.
Oh, it is time for science and the church.
I'm gonna. This one, I don't see any way that the church could be involved. I guess except for earlier I talked about monks, but when I think science or the church, I'm always thinking the Catholic Church. So I'm gonna go with.
Here's
could be any
your
church.
hint. It could be any church. It's just the Catholics have really railroaded a lot of things, especially when we talk because we do a lot of like European folklore because we're white. You know.
I'm gonna go with you know what? If I get wild card, I'm gonna go with the church.
Oh, well, guess what, Ryan? Not today. It is science.
I should have known. It's Dune. It's sci-fi. Idiot.
All right. So, little bit of a stretch on my end. A stretch stretch makes the pose, you know. We are going to talk about why scientists believe this creature just doesn't exist point blank, and that is because an earthworm simply could not survive in the desert. Um,
Mm-hmm.
now, earthworms, like many creatures, need water to live, and the desert just isn't the spot for that. They breathe through their skin, and when they do, air dissolves on the mucus of their skin, which is absolutely disgusting. So to avoid becoming some good old earthworm jerky, as you can see on our picture right here, um, and to not suffocate to death, they need moisture in the air. So when the soil is too dry or hot, much like the Gobi Desert, they become inactive and lose their all their water in a process called as oh my god. This is the I did so good looking up the pronunciation of every word this episode except this. And anthivation?
I got no idea.
Man,
Heat hibernation.
hibernation. Well, like yeah, it's just heat hibernation. So they get too hot and they can't do anything and just sleep, which we have all been there. But the
Every
thing is,
summer. That's all I do.
every and that's Ryan goes into a summer hibernation.
It's
It's
true.
pretty wild.
It's too
Um
damn hot outside.
you know, you keep saying come to Vegas, you know, and then I'm like, but summer exists there, and I
But
don't.
here's the thing. I'm already swimming.
Oh,
It's already pool weather, baby. Let's
I know,
go.
I know.
I
That's
have
fair.
a counterpoint. I think how come if worms can't live in the desert, every time it rains, I see a bunch of dead worms come up from the soil. Checkmate scientists. Exactly. Why did they die in the rain? Hmm? Explain that one. Can't.
I can never win with Ryan. It's just really what I've. You know, Ryan. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's all I got.
Valid counterpoint. That's all I'm
That
saying.
that's all. That's all it is. Because that's my
And also, how do you explain the documentary Dune?
the documentary, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's real.
Okay. Like I know you believe in your heart it is,
Hmm.
and I'm going to let you hold on to that. Hold on to that so closely. Um, overall, it honestly seems like this death worm is just a misidentified reptile, and it could also be a contribution of like people just getting too hot and seeing
Yeah,
weird shit.
the sand boa makes a lot of sense if those are actually in the desert,
Yes,
which
that's
the name would imply they probably are.
yeah. It's they're built for that climate, but you know that's all we got. That's all the worm nonsense. We can go to a more pleasant image, except this dried jerky worm thing. We don't. Oh, that's right. We don't have any announcements. We have like a lot of stuff. Well, I guess I'll do it 1 second. What was my sound effect for even this? Time for the lore report. I'll just let Ryan have it at this point. I'm so tired fighting it. I've been fighting it all episode. um, I think the only liquor and lore is for Moon Mail. Y'all will start seeing a little watercolor pages sent to you in Moon
Sheesh.
Mail, and you'll see some videos of the me painting those. So like
Sheesh.
you can paint your own little liquor and lore bottles, which will be kind of fun. So, that's it for lore. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say about the podcast? You don't have to.
Um.
You can. I don't think there's anything really.
Ooh, cause we need to record it still, but we have a liquor and lore with some homemade alcohol coming soon.
That's
So
right.
now, if you want to know more about that, now's a great time to become a patron.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god. We have so much cooking in like the background, y'all. Like I can't remember like what we want to talk about, what we don't. It's a great hot mess in the kitchen. And
It is, yeah.
It's great.
It's hot outside, hot in the kitchen. It's hot
Everyone's hot.
everywhere.
Speaking of hot, let's go to that alignment chart. Okay. All right. This feels right. I put mine as neutral, a little bit more towards evil, but not quite. And Ryan definitely put it as kind of a true neutral with like a
Yeah,
smidge of
it's
good.
supposed to be a little more to the right. The like lens of the camera is like the center for me. It's because
Yeah.
I think he's just a worm.
He's just a worm.
Like he's just out there vibing. Like if people want to mess with him, like no one would be poisoned by the snake if they weren't out hunting it.
So this is where the cowboy hat really
That too, and the
influenced
cowboy
you.
hat. Yeah, he was true neutral before. Yeah, I would say he would be neutral, but have you considered the cowboy hat?
That's fair.
Yeah, I think valid.
Yeah, I put it a little bit more towards evil, just because I feel like the heat brings out the devil in all of us.
It's true.
Like,
It's not his fault.
yeah, so like it's not his fault. He's still evil,
Yeah,
So
it's misunderstood.
it's definitely a was it nature versus nurture kind of situation we
Yeah,
got going on. So, yeah, that's wow. It's so weird being so
yeah,
close,
so close.
so close, but
It happens sometimes, though.
there are moments in
Yeah,
time
but
where
do
we really come together.
you got any good takeaways?
Ooh, I had such a fucking good one.
You need
Um,
a sec, cause I got mine
yeah,
hot,
you
ready to
go
go.
first.
All
Yeah,
right,
you go first.
boys, listen up. Nobody likes a dry tentacle, cause then they're gonna call it a sandworm. No one likes a sandworm. Be a tentacle.
Okay. I was like, I only have like I give you like 7 words for,
Mm-hmm.
for our takeaway. Okay, I'll
It was
give you
about
that.
7.
Um, I'm trying to
Here, I'll make
think.
it short. Keep your sandworm moisturized. Okay, guys? 7 words.
Um, and when a monk, I'm trying to think. I really like that with the monk, like warning him. Um, um. Oh, let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Oh, well, there you go. When danger is near, just play the Dune soundtrack.
There you go. Yeah,
There
pound
we
some
go.
sand.
Go. All right. Okay. We're just. I'm going to just ignore that. Thank you, everyone, for listening so much. Thank you to all of our new listeners. Thank you to all of our old listeners. Thank you to everyone. Uh,
You
do I
just
say anything
have
else?
the
Oh, that's
most
you.
alluring day ever, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Yeah, go pound some sound, folks.
Hell yeah. All right, bye.
Bye.